Hello, and welcome to the Law of Attraction Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Keith, and today we are going to be talking money mindset. So I want to start out by inviting you to my free workshop with Stacey Failing on April 19th at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm going to link it in the show notes. It's also linked on my Instagram and TikTok at Law of Attraction Tribe, and it's going to be all about spring cleaning, but not the spring cleaning that we're used to hearing about, although I love doing that too. We're talking about decluttering the money beliefs that are holding you back and that are keeping you in this place of scarcity, this place of struggle, where no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try, you still end up in the same place financially month after month. And it's just always a struggle. And at this point, you're just hoping that someday maybe you can retire, right? And I think that's pretty typical. I think that that is what we've been conditioned to strive for. And I think it's fucking insane. So that's what we're going to talk about today, like all of the insane shit that we've been programmed to believe as a society and how we need to start looking at things differently so that we can thrive and not consistently stay in a struggle, but consistently bring in more and more cash flow, more and more overflow so that there's always enough and that you don't have to limit yourself and be stuck focusing all of your time and energy on money, that you can actually start living and enjoying life. But it takes resources to do that, right? It takes money. That is what we are set up on as a society. And so we need it. And there's no shame in wanting it. And that's the first thing, is we have so much guilt and shame around desiring money, believing we're worthy of massive amounts of money. We're so programmed to think that we should only want just enough to get by, and that anything over that is unreasonable, it's greedy, it's selfish. And that is like so opposite of our true nature. Our true nature is abundance. Go out right now in nature, look around you. I know I've said this before, but look at the blades of grass in your yard and how abundant they are. Look at the grains of sand at the beach and how abundant they are. Look at a piece of fruit in your kitchen and how it's abundant with seeds. And if you plant each one of those seeds, you grow a whole fruit tree, right? Like nature is abundant. We have an abundance of air to breathe. It never runs out, right? But when it comes to money, we don't see that. We think that there's not enough to go around and that it's going to run out, when the opposite is true. And I think for the most part, we should all understand at this point, like there's more money printed now than ever before. I mean, we're dealing with inflation because of it, right? And there's more billionaires now than ever before. There's more millionaires now than ever before. And so there is more than enough for you. But in order to have that, you have to first be okay with desiring it. And that's the first hurdle, is that we're not even comfortable wanting it. And we're certainly not comfortable with admitting that we want it or saying it out loud, because we don't want to seem like we're being greedy or selfish. And tied in with these beliefs is guilt and shame, which is the lowest vibrational frequency that you can embody. So it's no wonder that we keep manifesting these low vibrational things when it comes to our finances, because we're constantly in this state of guilt and shame around it. And as it's not our fault, first of all, it's not your fault. It's not your parents' fault. It's not your grandparents' fault, okay? As a society as a whole, this is how we were programmed. This is how our schooling system is set up. I'm sure you've heard, if you've followed the podcast for a long time, you've heard me talk about how the schooling system was set up to create a bunch of workers that don't really strive for anything other than to work all day long for the rest of their life and never question authority, never question the status quo. That's how we're conditioned. But if you want to manifest wealth, you have to start thinking differently, and especially now. So we're at one of those times in history where the world is changing at a fast rate. Like we're going through another technological revolution. So I want you to think about when the internet first started. For those of you who are my age, older, you lived through it, right? And we saw with our own eyes how much the world changed when the internet came about. And it changed pretty quickly, right? It went from when I was a kid, you had one dial-up computer and, you could maybe access like an AOL chat room or whatever. And then very quickly, it became, everyone has a laptop and everyone in the house owns a computer. And then it started shifting when I was in college from instead of writing your papers by hand, you type them out, you email them, right? And then when I was in college, Wi-Fi came about. And I couldn't even wrap my head around the concept of accessing the internet without wires and cords. I just couldn't even fathom. And you want to believe in manifestation and energy, look at Wi-Fi. Look at even a simple radio. You are tuning in and you're sending information back and forth through Wi-Fi, through the radio. Just like we are sending energy and information back and forth with the world around us through manifestation, because we are conductors of electricity. We have our own electrical system. And so just like your smartphone, you think of yourself as a smartphone, right? And you want something, go ahead and email it on the Wi-Fi connected network of life, because we know from quantum entanglement, we're all interconnected. So I break this down in the Millionaire's Mastermind, really deeply, to understand that manifesting anything, including money, is all about energy. It's all about energy. And I get so many people that are like, no, it's hard work. I mean, all you're talking about is working hard, and then you take action, and then, you get the reward and you say it's manifestation. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. It is energy. You are aligning with a reality of the energy that you yourself are embodying. And that's what I mean. When you hear me say millionaireess isn't a person. It's not some, rich bitch that has on a sequins dress. It is not $1 million in your bank account. It's an energetic vibration. And for me, that energetic vibration, legit, it is. I imagine putting on this metallic, dress of armor that's protecting me from all of the negative shit in the world, right? So that's kind of how I visualize it. But what a millionaireess is that is what I call my higher self, that energetic state of being that knows that she's absolutely worthy and deserving of abundance, and that she can ask for it, she can go for it, and she can take the action and make it happen. And you're worthy of that too. Everyone's worthy of it. And here's the thing. The opportunities that are right in front of me, that are right in front of you, that are right in front of the billionaires of the world are all the same. They're all there for the taking. But there's a very small number of people right now that are even noticing it or tuning into it, because they're still back in the mode of feeling shame and guilt for even wanting it, for even desiring it. You see? So not only are they not going to take action, they can't even see the abundance of opportunities right in front of them because they're too shameful to even ask for it. They feel bad. They feel guilty for even wanting it. So that's the first hurdle. And that is what we're going to declutter in this spring workshop. Because if you want to step into this abundant energy, whether it's with money or you want an abundance of joy or an abundance of love, which are all things that we all want, right? Everyone wants more money. Everyone wants more love. Everyone wants more joy. Those are the things that everyone universally wants to live an abundant, happy, fulfilled life. Now, are those things going to make you happy? No, you make yourself happy. But those are the things that like sweeten life, right? And make you feel alive. And you might be saying, no, I don't. I don't want money. Well, you're fucking lying to yourself. And it's rooted in that guilt and shame. I guarantee it. We all have it and we all have to overcome it. So that's why we're decluttering that specific belief. But now I want to talk about what's going on externally, because that's the other thing. We are conditioned to believe that everything that happens, especially when it comes to our money, is outside of us. It's the cause of some external force, whether it's the economy, the government, your boss, your shitty coworker, your spouse. Like, it's all outside of us. That's the way we're trained to view money. And so we have to become dependent on something outside of us, whether it's the government, your spouse, your company, your benefits, like whatever that is, right? And that is what we're trained to think of as security, safety. But it's not, because those things can all be taken away from you at any time. I remember thinking, I was flat out told all throughout high school and college, you go and get that safe and secure job. And I get why I was told that, because, in my parents' and grandparents' generation, it was different. It was like, if you went and you worked your ass off for a company, you had a job for life and then you had a pension until you died. Like, that company would take care of you. That's not the case anymore, unfortunately. Now, and I realized that the moment I got into the corporate world, I realized, holy shit, the moment these shareholders aren't happy for whatever reason, it could be a market reason that has nothing to do with the employees, they're going to want to cut expenses. And the first and easiest and quickest way to cut expenses is with your most expensive resource, which is your employees. So I was dealing with layoffs all the time. There was no such thing as certainty or security. And that was a big wake-up call for me after being told for years that that's what I should strive for, as a company, to make me feel secure. Now I don't have a company. I have my own business. I am a solopreneur. I don't have any employees. I don't have a boss. I don't have anyone but me. I don't have health insurance, benefits, a 401k, but I feel more safe and secure than I ever did in those 12 years of working in corporate America. And that was a big wake-up call for me. I was not expecting that, because the whole 12 years I worked there, I never felt secure financially. I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so I assumed that when I started my business and left my job, that I was going to be in this constant panic of insecurity. But the opposite happened, and that really surprised me, where I feel so secure because I ultimately have control. And ultimately, I am responsible, right? I have to take responsibility over my own life. And that may sound scary, but let me tell you something. It is the most freeing, liberating feeling, knowing that you can take care of you, and that if you want more money, you can go and get it. You don't have to wait for a boss to tell you you're good enough, or for a company to decide to give a 1% raise every year. Meanwhile, inflation's 8%? You get to decide, hey, I'm going to go and launch a new program. I'm going to work with more people. I'm going to take on more clients. I'm going to sell another product. The control is in your hands, and you get to manifest every aspect of it. You get to decide how your schedule and your life looks. Today, I got started at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is when I feel the most alive and energetic and inspired because I've done my morning routine and I just feel really good. So I start my work day, I work for a couple hours, I get what I need done, and then I get to live and spend time with my family and enjoy life, right? Like that feels good. That is a good feeling of security, but we are trained, again, conditioned to think that we have to look for it outside of ourselves. So that's another big belief that we have to work through, is that you can rely on yourself. You can be your source of safety and security and income. So back to looking outside of ourselves, right? You look around now, and if you listen to my other podcast, you've probably heard the economy is not doing well. The US dollar is at great risk right now. There's a lot of banks at risk. There's a lot of things happening externally in the world, and it can be really scary. And I've had to walk a fine line and maintain balance between being informed, but also keeping my vibration high. But what I found was when you look back at history, again, when the internet came about, when we had that big recession in 2008, even during the Great Depression in the 30s, there's all these different events that people got really wealthy. There were people that got poor. There were people that went through hard times. And then there were people that did really well. The people that did well were informed ahead of the game. They didn't wait for the rest of the world to figure things out and then they followed along. They took it upon themselves to stay informed of what was happening in the world and to get ahead of it and to make smart decisions so that they wouldn't get left behind. And so I see that happening again, not just with the economy and inflation and all of that, but with the emergence of AI, right? Like Goldman Sachs just came out with a report that 300 million jobs are going to be replaced by AI. And what jobs are they? They're white-collar jobs. These are the jobs that we grew up being told you should get because they will create that safety and that security. How many times have you heard you should learn to code? Coding is the future. Well, guess what? AI can code and it can do it a hell of a lot better than any human being. So all of these things that we were told, well, guess what? They're not panning out because those are the jobs that are going to be replaced by AI. So you can look at it one of two ways. You can look at it as I'm fucked. What the hell? This sucks. I'm so screwed. Or you can look at it as this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to get out of my sucky job and do what I really want to do. And what can I do that AI can't do? What path could I take? What could I invest in now to completely change my life and make it more fulfilling for me on all levels, financially, with a sense of purpose, having more joy, more freedom, more time? So it's a gift in a way, just like COVID. A lot of people were able to realize that they were in a job that wasn't fulfilling, and they made the necessary changes. A lot of businesses started, a lot of podcasts started, and there's people that are super successful now because of that if COVID didn't happen, they'd probably be stuck in their day job, right? So this is another one of those times. And if you can look at it from the mindset of opportunity, and how am I going to use this to make my life better and to make decisions that maybe I was too afraid to make before, but now I have the freedom to make, right? It's all about the mindset. So we're going to see a big shift. I mean, AI is going to be it's going to make the world so much different, way more so than the smartphone or internet. I mean, massively different in a very short amount of time. You think about when social media came about, it took a year to get 1 million users on it. When ChatGPT came out, it took a week. Okay, that's how fast this is growing. And you could look at it as like, oh my gosh, it's this tool that is going to take over my job. Or you can look at it as, oh my gosh, this is a tool that could help me build an entire business, marketing plan, social media plan in a day. So it's all back to your mindset and your energetic vibration. And if you give in to the fear and you tell yourself you're screwed and you depend on all of these external things, then it's going to be a rough road. And there's going to be a lot of people that lose money and that have a rough time. But if you get ahead of it and you look at this as an opportunity and you start looking at how can I control my fate instead of relying on an external force, what can I do to fulfill my purpose, to bring value to the world, you're going to get ahead of it, right? So it's all in the energy that you're embodying. And now more than ever in our lifetime, we need to have a positive money mindset, because if you don't, you're going to get swallowed up whole. It is going to be a rough road ahead if you stay in this shame and this guilt and this struggle and this confusion. But you can empower yourself. But in order to do that, you got to clear out the crap, right? We got to declutter those money beliefs. So join me for my free workshop. It is absolutely free. You can join on your phone, on your computer, whatever. It's going to be on Zoom. We're going to clear out, we're going to declutter these beliefs that we all have to some degree, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. They're in your subconscious, right? So we're going to clear it out and make way for these abundant beliefs so that this huge historical turning point in time we can use to our advantage to manifest abundance, manifest purpose in our life, do what we really want to do, and look at it as an opportunity instead of like an oh shit moment. So if you want to do that, like I said, go to the link in the show notes or go to TikTok, Instagram at Law of Attraction Tribe. And the link is in the bio. And I hope that you empower yourself and really use this time to level up your life. And I'm here for it. I'm here to help as many people as possible get there. You just got to be open. You got to be open to it, and you got to reach out and take it. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you back here next time. If you enjoyed this episode and you want more, download the Manifest It Now app, where you have access to a ton of my absolute favorite manifestation hacks. You get the entire subliminal library. You get access to the Inner Tribe manifesting membership, where we have live calls and exclusive audios and a whole bunch of other resources right at your fingertips anytime you need that boost, so you can make manifestation a daily habit and transform your life. Just head to your app store and search Manifest It Now, and I'll see you inside.